Get ready for MAFDOMiNUS' Godzillathon! Godzilla 2000. After 1995, Godzilla died, but after 1998, TriStar raped Godzilla's corpse. So Toho was all like, oh no, you're not gonna ruin Godzilla's image, quickly bring him back! And so Godzilla was brought back to life for this all-new movie. It's kind of impressive how they made this movie immediately after the 98 movie, like literally a year after the 98 movie, Godzilla 2000 came, and it doesn't feel rushed at all, so I'm quite impressed with you, Toho. But anyways, Godzilla 2000 was the very first Godzilla movie I've ever seen. I remember when I was 6 years old and Blockbuster was still a thing, so me and my parents would go out to Blockbuster, rent a movie for movie night, and just watch all kinds of movies. But then, one day I came across a DVD box that had a lizard on it. But it wasn't just any lizard, it was Godzilla. He was destroying a city. So my parents decided to rent the movie, and I saw Godzilla 2000, and next thing you know, I became a G fan. I loved the movie so much that I wanted to see every other Godzilla movie. After that, I saw Giant Monsters All Out Attack. I then saw Godzilla vs. Gigan. I then saw Godzilla vs. Hedorah. It kind of traumatized me a bit, but it was a good for me as a kid, and I also saw Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, and so on. I saw most Godzilla movies that they had at Blockbuster, and overall, I just became a general G fan. So you can thank Godzilla 2000 for introducing me to Godzilla. But is Godzilla 2000 a bit nostalgic for me? Am I really looking at this movie like there's any flaws in it? I mean, I'll admit, Godzilla 2000 does have some flaws, so it might be nostalgia blindness. Maybe I gotta take off these nostalgia goggles for a second. But even then, Godzilla 2000 has something that no other Godzilla movie has. It's hard to describe, but let me put it this way. Imagine I introduce someone to Godzilla, but they don't know anything about Godzilla. They're all like, huh? Who is this Godzilla? So, how do you introduce this person to Godzilla? Do you show them the original movie? Do you show them a bunch of movies? Do you show them the movies where Godzilla's origins are different than in the main storyline? Is there even a main storyline? The point is, Godzilla has over 32 movies. It's intimidating for someone who hasn't seen Godzilla movies, so yeah, you can kind of see why Godzilla is a little bit tricky to introduce to people. But there is one movie that you can introduce to someone that is a noob to this series, and that is Godzilla 2000, because this movie pretty much embodies everything about Godzilla. Think about it, he starts off as a villain in this movie, but then throughout, he becomes a hero. Not only that, but he introduces the tropes of most Godzilla movies, like the weather guy, or in this case, the weather girl, the scientist, the government that wants to destroy Godzilla even though the weapons don't do jack shit. And of course, the most important thing, Godzilla fighting a different monster. And it's not like the monster is in this movie for long. This monster starts off as a UFO, but then it becomes a monster named Orga that fights Godzilla at the end of the movie. So it slowly introduces you to Godzilla being a very powerful creature when he fights against another monster. So Godzilla 2000, despite the fact that this movie is pretty average in most movies, it's the perfect Godzilla movie to introduce to newcomers. So, it may be nostalgia blindness, it may be the fact that I have a soft spot for this movie, but at the end of the day, Godzilla 2000 is probably one of my favorite Godzilla movies. It's a good movie to introduce to people, and it's not a bad movie on its own. The characters are good, the special effects are awesome, and even the plot is so simplistic that it's not confusing, but at the same time, it's not boring. So, yeah, even though Godzilla 2000 is a painfully average movie, it's probably one of my favorite Godzilla movies. I would recommend it to any newcomer to the Godzilla franchise. It's really good. It's better than the 98 movie.